So, since I didn't record in class, I am going to redo my speech here so all of you can see what it was. So, hello everyone. For those of you that don't know, my name is Catalina Craig, and today I'm going to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart, which is pregnancy and infant loss. This is something that has happened to me. I did lose my son at 21 weeks. April 10th of last year. So, this is definitely something that strikes a personal chord with me. In 1988, President Reagan stated that October was to be Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. And in September 28, 2006, the House of Representatives declared October 15th Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day. So, with that being said, I'm not here today to scare you. I'm not here for your sympathy or your sorries, and I'm not here for you to tell me that I'm weird or that the way I do things is wrong. But I am here today to tell you that pregnancy and infant loss is not a taboo subject. There are different types and there are different levels of loss. There are different ways we grieve for all these losses, and there are things you don't want to say to someone that has lost a child. So, for starters, pregnancy and infant loss is not a taboo subject. I don't know why everybody says it is. I don't know why anybody wants to talk about it. Because most of the time we want to talk about it. It recognizes that we are mothers and that we have children. It recognizes that our child lives and our child matters. Even if it's a touchy subject and it makes someone cry, they're still going to appreciate the fact that you brought up a child that isn't here. They'll appreciate it. It raises awareness to talk about it. This is my pin. This is probably can't see it really well because of light, but blue and pink are the awareness colors. I actually made this pin myself. How are we going to fix the problem if we don't talk about it? And we have the breast cancer awareness and the Alzheimer's awareness, and we're fighting for a cure. But if we don't talk about pregnancy and infant loss, how are we to try to stop it from happening? So, and it's actually a lot more common than people realize. There are 30,000 stillbirths every year. 15 to 20% of clinically recognized pregnancies end in a miscarriage. And 2,500 die from SIDS every year. SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome. So, there are different types of loss. I'm just going to go through some of the basic ones. I know there's tons of other reasons and tons of causes, like twin-to-twin transfusions, and there's just tons of things, but I'm going to touch on some of the most common things that people might have heard of but not sure what it is. A miscarriage is a loss before 20 weeks. It usually happens before 12. That is why they say 12 weeks is the safe zone. There is no safe zone. I hate when people say that. I wish they wouldn't say it. The loss can happen at any time to anyone. Just flat out, there is no safe zone. None. Stillbirth is a loss after 20 weeks. This is what my son was. A lot of people don't realize that I went to the hospital and I was induced. My water broke and I went into labor and I held him. And that goes for most stillbirths. You know, same process. The child just isn't alive. With stillbirth, it is the parent's responsibility to either have a funeral or cremation for the child, and there's usually no leeway for this. It does vary by place and by state. My casket was free, provided by the funeral home, but I had to pay for the services, the plot, the stone. That was all out-of-pocket paid. Ectopic pregnancy is when the egg is outside the uterus. This has to be removed to prevent rupture of the fallopian tubes. If this happens, it is very life-endangering to the mother. And most of the time, the egg outside the uterus, it results in a loss of a pregnancy anyways because it can't grow the way it needs to. And the last one is a neonatal death. This is a death after 28 weeks. This can be due to, death after 28 days of birth. This can be due to anything, complications, diseases, most of the time often it's SIDS, the sudden infant death syndrome, and even that can happen after 28 days. I know people that have 7, 8, 9 months down the road and have lost their child since. So it can happen at any time. There are different ways we grieve for all these different types of losses. Actually, I took a poll on Instagram and asked some ladies what were some of the ways that they grieved. They keep to themselves, they write in journals, they play and sing music, they exercise, they talk to their children out loud, and they keep a positive outlook on life. Personally, myself, I have grown to be a very crafty person. Like making these, making little no-sew blankets, some hair ribbons. I've been baking a lot, and I've always been creative, but I've been a little more into my creative side now, more than I used to. And I get tattoos in remembrance. I got, the one on my wrist here and here. I've got one on my back and one on my thigh. I also treat my son as if he is here. I will buy him a couple birthday presents. I did buy him a couple things for Christmas. I talk to him out loud. I buy him things every now and then. He has his own special corner in my room. Just all for him. I run an Instagram sport page, obviously. And I also have this Caleb beanie. He's very special to me. No, he is not a pet bear. I'm not mental. I'm not crazy. I actually measured him out. He is the same size Caleb was. And the hat that he wears was made by a lady who makes hats for children who have passed away before 28 weeks. This was made to fit the size of an approximate 21-week-old baby. So this is exactly how big my little Caleb was. So this beanie has very special meaning to me, and I really, really, really love my beanie. There are many things that you don't want to say to someone who is grieving over the loss of a child. I also took this poll on Instagram. I chose 4 that people seem to pipe up and say, hey, I don't like this. So I had them vote on which one they didn't like the most. 42% of people do not want to hear that it happened for a reason. Even if deep down we know, maybe in our hearts, that it did happen. I mean, there's Christian, whatever religion you're in, deep down I might know, in my heart I might know that, this did happen for a reason, God had it happen for a reason, but to just sit there and tell me that it happened for a reason, I don't want to hear it. There's no reason for the loss of a child. I don't want to hear it. And a lot of other women don't want to hear it, even if we know deep down that maybe there was a reason. There's other stuff that you can say besides it happened for a reason. 23% of people said that they don't like to hear you'll have other children. Nothing replaces my son. Nothing will replace any other woman's children or father's children. Nothing will replace them. 19% said they don't like to hear you'll get over it. I'm sorry, but I'll never get over it. Lost my child. 60% said they don't like to hear it's not a big deal. It's a very big deal. That's your child. Gone. It's a very, very big deal. Some other things that women do not like to hear is you'll have a chance to be a mother next time. Why aren't I a mother this time? What's the difference? When are you going to try again? It was better this way, and it wasn't really a baby. Those are definitely no things. You don't want to say any of that. We're grieving, we're hurting. Be careful about what you say. So, in conclusion, what grieving mothers really want, we just want your love and support. We want you to recognize our children, no matter what kind of loss, no matter how early. We want you to recognize that we have children. We want you to understand that we all grieve differently. We're not weird. We're not wrong for the way we do anything. Don't tell me that my bear is weird. Don't tell me that I wear too much, that I have too many tattoos for my son. That's my own way, and I want to remember my son. It's different for everybody. And think before you say something. Say what you would want to hear if you lost a child. Don't say what you think we want to hear. So, that wraps it up. if you are not a regular follower and you want to follow me on Instagram, it is Heavens, HEAVENS _ Tiny, TINY _ Angels, ANGELS. You can find me on there, and I will accept you. So I hope you all enjoyed my speech. This is pretty close to what it was in class. I was a little more interactive if I asked some questions, but this is the same information that I provided in class. So thanks for watching.